Welcome to the BrightInsight Digital Health C-Suite series. I'm Chitra Nawbatt. Joining us today is Pouria Sanae, CEO of ixlayer. Pouria, welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
What is ixlayer? How does it work?
Yeah, so it's actually in the name. The I and the X in the ixlayer stand for infrastructure and patient experience layer for diagnostic testing. It's a quite complex technology platform that integrates to 40 different services, 42 different services by now, labs, fulfillment, phlebotomies, physician networks, everything you need to power diagnostic testing in a complex setting. And we call it complex setting because it could be in the home, it could be in the office, etc.
All of that sounds wonderful, but a lot of companies use similar terminology. So bring it to life for us with a few examples and an example that's targeted to the life sciences customer.
Yeah, so let's do like a full patient journey. In a patient journey, there is in the life science sector, you have the patient identification, and then you have the patient engagement. So patient that you would like to get on a drug and patient that is already on the drug. For patient identification, lab testing plays a huge role in that. Access to lab testing is quite complex, and access to lab testing when it comes to 50 state patient are distributed is even harder. We solve that problem through our vast majority of network of services. And we do that under the brand of our customers. And on the patient engagement, which I think we're going to talk more about later, is all about how can we create a feedback loop to the patient through diagnostic testing so that they stay on the drugs, adherence and compliance.
So then, without this, what are the barriers, the roadblocks that the customer experiences? And then with you, what are the outcomes that they can benefit from?
Yeah, so without this, the patient identification goes through a physician office. So you need to now educate the physician on the information. You need to convince them. There needs to be so many different steps, while moving the lab testing prior to that can identify and filter a long list of patients. And without this, on the other side, patient engagement, there is no feedback loop. Hey, I've been using this drug for 3 months. I still feel tired, or I don't feel the feedback of this. And without the diagnostic testing, you don't have the feedback. You have the chance of patient leaving the drug.
So what are the top challenges you're facing?
So one of the biggest challenges is to educate the market about this, that this exists. And prior to this, there wasn't really a solution. You had to set up a Salesforce cloud and integrate to 20 services to be able to do this. Educate them, understand them, and show them the case studies that how much better the results are with diagnostic testing as part of the patient identification and patient engagement. That's definitely one of them. And then from a company point of view and so on, scaling. We're growing quite fast right now, and just increasing the team at this speed has a lot of challenges.
On the education front, how are you solving that problem, and what are the tools or the ingredients you're using to try to drive penetration into the market, user adoption, acceptance?
A lot of case studies, a lot of spending time with close partners, educating our end customers through partnerships, and then being where our customers are, being in their ear, focusing on the in life sciences, on the marketing team, on the commercial team, so that they fully understand. Once they reach the aha moment, it's like, wow, we had no idea this exists.
You talk about partnerships. Congratulations, you just signed a significant partnership with BrightInsight. Tell us about it.
Yeah, we're super excited because I think there is a very close marriage between what they're doing and what we're doing. They're approaching both of those sectors from a digital point of view, and if you marry that together with the diagnostic testing, as I explained before, you get the patient, you get them, you create a relationship with the therapy that they're on through digital experience from BrightInsight, but also with a feedback loop through diagnostic testing.
But if you can make it still more tangible for us, double click, triple click on that, right? In terms of the world before this partnership, and now really what the benefits, whether it's time to achievement or time to outcome, if there's dollars, patient health, the different metrics of what we'll see now because of this partnership.
Yeah, so let's just focus on the patient engagement piece because that's a close part of the partnership. Prior to this, there is no way to know that is the drug working for a patient. how long do they have to wait before they see that, hey, their symptoms are improving and so on. The digital experience is amazing because it prompts you to stay on it. It almost prompts you with notification and so on. But there is zero feedback loop today. It doesn't exist, right? With the feedback loop, you will know as a patient that, hey, this drug that I'm on, actually, this branded drug that I'm on is working. And this drug that I'm on, I need to make sure that I don't run out of it. I need to make sure that I use it. And then if I get off it, the values changes. How do we do this? We test the patient regularly. So continuous lab testing. We chart the result in the patient experience for them so they can see their values moving in the right direction. Or, we talked about, prior to this, we talked about LDL and HDL moving in a downward valuation of downward values. And that is the value to see a feedback loop to the patient, to see that as a patient, hey, the amount of time, the amount of money, the amount of that I'm paying is actually working.
So this feedback loop also creates then both primary as well as secondary benefits, right? Because then the customer is getting access to data that they before would not have. Timely, they can run analytics, share that perspective in terms of how the customer benefits now, primarily, secondarily from access to this that they wouldn't have otherwise had.
Correct. And the combination of the digital experience, the therapy, and the diagnostic testing piece creates a data set that can also be very valuable for customers when they work with life insurance companies that work with payers and health insurance, to show that that package of therapy has a higher adherence and compliance. That package actually works.
What's the digital health trend that will dominate market opportunity this year?
Within the life science, if you look at it moves, I think the trick is moving closer and closer to the patient, to be more patient-centric, to be more focused on the outcome of an individual, and to understand that in this era, patients are first thinking, like patient, me, myself. The feedbacks are not coming through a physician so much, it comes through educating them. Otherwise, they will go to Dr. Google, right? So I think every digital solution that is out there that can provide the information, education, be there as a companion to the patient, will dominate the sector. I think that's going to be so important.
And finally, a leadership question for you. In life, business, career, there are codes, rules, norms on how things are done. Where have you been a code breaker in business and life in your journey, and how did you do it?
That's a good question. I have to give it a little bit of thoughts. I think in the end of the day, you have to do it your own way. So I coach a lot of startups, and I'll tell them, like, look, these are steps you need to do. This is how this guy did it. This is how the Steve Jobs of the world do it. Now, once we finish going through that, my advice is, okay, forget everything that I said. How would you do it? Now, create your own trend, set your own thing. Otherwise, you will be a copycat. And even if you're a copycat of the greatest, and I used Steve Jobs as an example, but you want to be the better one in your own sector, in your dominance. So do it your own way, I would say.
Pouria, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much.